What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to the land of Reckless Logic. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack the notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Let's get straight into this video. Now, as you guys can already tell by the title of this video, what I'm going to be talking about. Now, this video I was supposed to do some days ago, but I ended up getting sick. I was feeling very much up under the weather. So I didn't really get a chance to get to it, but I decided I'm gonna do it. I feel much better. I feel more vibrant in my personality and the way that I'm feeling. So I'm gonna get straight into it. But before I do all of that, let's just do the regular do, and let's just run my fair use and explicit content disclaimer so we can get ready. Let's go, y'all.
I'm in danger. I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
Disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allows is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, always constructive. Comment down below. News reporting, I guess that's what we doing. Teaching, hopefully y'all learn something. Scholarship, we ain't got no money. Education and research so you can get a nasty piece of degree. Okay? Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Hello. What's going on, my quest? How you doing? How are you feeling today? Now, as you guys can tell, I just did a sound check because my last video, my mic was acting up. I had to figure out what was going on, but I figured it out, and I think I'm good. I think I got it this time. So, as you guys can already know, I'm going to be talking about Juan Dixon, Gizelle Bryant, and Robyn Dixon about the foolery and the mess they got going on. Now, I'm going to say this again. I meant to do this video some days back, but I kind of got, wasn't feeling my best, so I never got to it. So let me just start to introduce all the players. Once again, I'm going to start speaking about these situations in the most basic level so people can fully understand what's going on and what's the context of everything. Okay, so Juan Dixon. Now, Juan Dixon is a cast member on the Real Housewives of Potomac. He is known for being the husband, fiance, boyfriend of Robyn Dixon, who is another cast member on the show. Now, Juan Dixon is also a former basketball player. I want to say he played for the Wizards. So I want to say, don't quote me on that part, but also, which is the big part, he's also the former coach for, I want to say, Coppin State University. Now we have Robyn Dixon. Robyn is also a cast member of the Real Housewives of Potomac on Bravo. She is the wife and her fiance, because I don't even know the status at this point, of Juan Dixon. I actually found out she's also an actress as well. I did not know that when I was over here doing my research on her outside of the show. I had no clue she was an actress, but she's an actress. Okay, cool. Getting your actress in bag. Okay, girl. And then also we have Gizelle Bryant. Of course, we know that is the ex-wife of Jamal Bryant. She's also a cast member on the Real Housewives of Potomac, and then she is a model, or was a former model, and then not only that, she was an author, or she is an author, one of the two. I don't know. And you know what I find so very crazy about this stuff is that it always seems, what's going on, Lady D? It always seems that why is it like the pastors' wives be so low down? Because if you think about it, Gizelle is low down. And she used to be someone's first lady. And just to think Shawnee O'Neal is low down, and she used to be, and I think she is currently somebody's first lady. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe everybody can change, but I'm just saying. All right, so let me continue. Now, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of what actually happened, what's going on. So now we have Juan Dixon. Juan Dixon was fired from, I'm going to say, Coppin State University because a former player by the name, now his name I'm probably gonna butcher. His name. The former player's name was Libin Williams. Is Eben Williams, one of the two. I've heard many people say his name different ways. Blame it on my tongue, not my heart. Okay. Now he ended up filing a lawsuit because he was extorted. He was manipulated to giving photos and also videos sexually to a former staff member. Now, this former staff member's name was Lucian Brownlee. Now from what I understand from the reports say is that he was the assistant head coach of the team. So yeah, so apparently this situation apparently started around 2018, and within the situation, there was a catfish type of account to where Mr. Williams ended up getting in contact with the catfish account, who allegedly Mr. Brownlee was actually behind. And so in the midst of all of that, photos, videos, and eventually Mr. Brownlee decided to extort Mr. Williams, I guess for money or whatever, but he decided to extort him. And so what ended up happening was that the student, Mr. Williams, ended up having to transfer, because since the photos and videos and stuff were and things were released into the general public, Mr. Williams ended up losing his scholarship. And when he ended up losing his scholarship, he had to transfer. So that's the reason how the lawsuit ended up coming forth. Now, the reason why Juan Dixon ended up getting in trouble, from what the reports say, from what I've seen so far, is because the situation was brought to his attention, but yet nothing was done. Nothing was done. And plus, you also keep in mind, y'all, anything that has to do with a lawsuit and whoever wears the crown and a situation happened under your leadership and you knew, or you kind of knew, or there was some speculation and stuff going on and all this evidence and stuff, yeah, you're most definitely going to get in trouble. So that's kind of how all of that worked out. Hey, what's going on, y'all? How y'all doing today? So yes, so apparently throughout the situation, Juan apparently had turned a blind eye to what was going on between his staff member and also the other student. So but here's my thing. If there's a situation of a staff member possibly being inappropriate with a former player, student, etc., why would you turn a blind eye to the situation? At least if you really don't really care or anything, but just to think that you also have a family that you have to go back to, and also you have to take care of yourself. So even if, let's just say you don't even care about the situation, you're willing to quote unquote sweep it up under the rug or whatever. Let's look at this from a more selfish POV. Why wouldn't you just handle the things that need to be handled and follow protocol to cover your own behind? Because situations like this do get messy, as we can see, because from that situation of the catfish account and one of your staff members allegedly being behind the account, and this person having photos, videos, and stuff being leaked, and he's been extorted, and this man losing his scholarship, and also have to transfer schools, and now all of this resulted into a lawsuit. Yeah, you probably should have been more on stayed on task in terms of the severity of this situation. I guess. Now, throughout the situation, whatever, but I do want to talk about Miss Gizelle Bryant. Now, as I referenced before, Gizelle Bryant is also a cast member on the Real Housewives of Potomac. She low down too. But anyway, so yes, so Gizelle she had an interview where she had to give her statements, give her thoughts, her opinions, her POV on the current situation that has to do with Juan Dixon and Robyn Dixon. Okay, my mic keep trying to mess up, so I'm just gonna unplug that bad boy. I don't know what's going on. It just started happening all of a sudden. Whatever. Okay, do I sound now? Do I sound clear? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Audio is out. What about now? Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. 1 2 testing. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, so I'm good. Okay, yeah, I just had to unplug it. I don't know what's going on. It's like it'll randomly stop working. I gotta see what features or whatever's going on. Cause girl, I'm not a technician, but we're gonna get this together. Okay, but the show must go on. So yes, Gizelle had to give her POV on what's about the situation dealing with Juan Dixon and him being released and basically put on the chopping block in terms of his position as the head coach at Coppin State University. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Essentially, what she said is that it's very unfortunate. She feels that, oh, hey, intersex. Oh, intersex, by the way, side note, y'all. Yeah, I knew about the live, but I was in the comment section, but I was under the weather, like it was bad. I was under the weather. Like Conscious did tell me to come, but I was like, I'm just not gonna be into it. I just said, I'll cheer y'all on from the sidelines because baby, I was under the weather. I wish I could tell you what actually happened, but that's gonna be too personal for other people in this house. But yeah, it was bad. But I feel good today. It was good. Okay, so yes, now to get back on track because I know people like just stay focused. So yeah, so basically, essentially, what she said is that it's very unfortunate in his profession in terms of the college coaching arena section in life, in that whole field. You're just as good as your previous season, as your last season. Despite all the good season that you had, if you had one bad season or a couple bad seasons, that's all you're worth, and you put on the chopping block. Now, in that interview, she failed to actually address, which I be honest with you, I did not expect her to because Robyn is her friend and Juan, and since Robyn's her friend and Robyn loves Juan, she wasn't going to address it. She was going to deflect and not really answer directly. I already knew that was happening, but essentially what she said, she failed to actually address the actual lawsuit and the allegations and that big giant situation going on. But I digress. But I am going to read something. Now it says here, Real Housewives of Potomac Gizelle gives thoughts on Juan Dixon losing his job at Coppin, girl, I be butchering these people's stuff, State University. Now, I'm going to read this just so you guys can understand. Just so you guys can understand what I've seen, just so I'm not taking stuff out of context. You get what I'm saying? We here. Now it says here, Gizelle Bryant shared her thoughts on bestie Robyn Dixon's husband, Juan Dixon, losing his job at Coppin State University. Now it says, during a recent interview, the Real Housewives of Potomac star suggested Dixon was fired as basketball coach due to the team's losing streak this season rather than the SA allegation against one of the team's assistant coaches. Girl, they love to twist the narrative, honey. Now it says here, the post Real House of Potomac, Gizelle Bryant gives thoughts on Juan Dixon. Okay, I already said that. Now it says here, and I quote, I think the coaching world is tough. He was in a tough position. They did have a losing season, Bryant said in an interview with Celebrity Page's Ricky Cornish, according to the Jasmine brand. I says here, and I quote, I think these universities kind of look at it as you're as good as your last season. The sexual harassment lawsuit against Coppin State University and its assistant basketball coach has made its headlines these last few months. Now it says here, as previously covered, a former basketball player named Eben Williams. Now y'all blame it on my tongue, not my heart. I've seen many people say his name different plethora of ways, but we just gonna go with it. Eben Williams, who I'm going to refer to as Mr. Williams from now on, so I don't butcher his name, accused Coppin State assistant coach Lucian Brownlee of catfishing him online beginning in 2018. Here we go. In the lawsuit, Williams alleges Brownlee faked an online persona and tricked him into sending explicit photos and videos. Williams also says Brownlee blackmailed him into recording sexual acts and allegedly distributed the intimate images online, resulting in the college athletes losing his scholarship. Girl. Now it says here, and I continue. According to the lawsuit, Williams alerted Dixon of the situation. So he was alerted. when he learned the person he was talking to online was Brownlee. However, no action occurred and Williams transferred to another institution. CBS Sports reported that the Coppin State finished the season 9-23. Dang, they lost a lot. Now it says, while it's unclear what Dixon's next career move would be, Bryant is confident he'll bounce back. Then it says here, and I quote, Juan, if anything I know about him, he'll bounce back and he'll be fine, she said. So that's really what the article say. But once again, I want you guys to hear and know everything that I know. So make sure I'm not taking anything out of context, because I don't want to read them, but we're gonna have an honest conversation, you know. But I'm gonna let you guys hear it for yourself.
Saw the unfortunate news yesterday that he's been let go from his position. Any response to that? What do you kind of think of that whole your best?
Okay, so this is the actual clip of her saying what she said. Okay.
Your bestie, Robyn, we just saw the unfortunate news yesterday that he's been let go from his position. Any response to that? What do you kind of think of that whole situation, unfortunately?
I think, the coaching world is tough. I think, he was in a tough position. They did have a losing season. And I think that these universities kind of look at it as like, you're as good as your last season. But, Juan, if anything I know about him, he'll bounce back and he'll be fine.
You know what? You know what's an insult to my intelligence? It's like, it's one thing to lie, and don't get me wrong, I can possibly understand a lie if it's for a good reason, as in, like, even if you do something effed up and you really trying to get out of it, it can make sense to me for a person that is trying to ease their way out of situations to lie about it just so they can get out of the situation. That can make sense to me. But what irks my spirit is when, like, two things that irks my spirit about lying. One is when you lie for no reason at all. And then not only that, you're lying about stupid stuff. That's one of the things that irks my spirit about lying, is when you're lying for no reason. And then on top of that, what you're lying about is so minor. So it's like, what, you had no purpose in lying. But then the other thing that irks my spirit and irks my soul is when the lies don't even make any sense. Girl, do you not know that you're going to, I'm pretty sure this is not Gizelle's first time in the media. Same thing with Robyn. Same way how Robyn, you knew you was going to, and I'm probably gonna have to wait to get to this, but I'm gonna say it now because I ain't write it down, so I'm gonna make sure I say it now. If you knew you were going to watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen, you should, I'm pretty sure. And if you didn't think this, that's on your bad. That's your fault. I'm pretty sure you knew that Andy, Bravo, mediators, whoever was going to be there was going to ask you about the situation, the cheating rumors and situation dealing with Juan Dixon. Gizelle, you knew when you enter interviews, and if you know this is a trending topic about Juan Dixon and the lawsuit and him failing to report harassment, and you're a best friend of Robyn Dixon, who's the fiance, aka future wife or current wife, I don't know what the hell their status is, of Juan Dixon, then you should expect those questions to come up. So what gets me is that at least if you're going to tell a lie, at least make it make sense. Give it some sort of substance. At least think of something. And my thing is, who's running these people PR? But I digress. So yeah, so that's all that had to be said. Now, what also happened as well is that because of the Real Housewives of Potomac, as you guys, the season has already wrapped up. The season has already aired. The reunion has already is done with. Now, on the Real Housewives of Potomac, Gizelle lets it be known, and also Robyn as well. Well, more Gizelle. The reason why she did not bring the situation dealing with Juan and his cheating allegations and etc. is because she forgot. So before I even proceed, before I even proceed with anything else, let me just jump ship real quick. Let me just take my behind on this end. Let me just do this real quick. We love you, Logicc, because you be making all the sense, and that's on period. I know that's right. I love y'all too. Come on, logicians. Rumors and T said he had to be let go first because he didn't do his job, one, and protect the student by reporting the allegation, and also because they need his salary to help pay for the lawsuit. And to be completely honest, I'm gonna be honest. I'm even gonna take it a step further, and I'm kind of gonna dig into what you said, talking about he didn't even do his job. I believe, and I could be wrong, and I'm not saying that this university would have did this, but this is just a theory. I believe if he had an awesome winning streak, some universities will just sweep it up under the rug. That's just the honest to God truth, because how many times have we heard of situations where students were handled poorly about harassment or about assault, but yet the university failed to report those incidences just because they have certain staff members that bring so much to the university. So I do believe that also another factor to that is also keep in mind he's melanated as well. So that's a whole new ball game. So I do believe if he had a lighter skin complexion, they probably would let him fly. And then on top of him probably having a winning streak, he probably would have been, kind of swept up under the rug. Who is to say? Because we've had situations like that. I'm sure they figured out the period. I'm sure they figured they'll just shoot from the hip and escape. Yep. Living in delusion. I agree. But let me continue. But yeah, so let's get into this whole Robyn Dixon before I even proceed, because I can already tell this conversation about to shift. Okay, so let's get into Miss Robyn Dixon. Like I said before, I've been talking about her throughout the whole season of Real Housewives of Potomac. She's also a cast member on Real Housewives of Potomac. She is the fiance wife of Juan Dixon. Now here's the thing. Now, in terms of Juan Dixon, now on the show Real Housewives of Potomac, there were rumors circulating of Juan Dixon cheating. Now, in terms of it was cheating in terms of there being another woman, but in terms of him actually cheating on, I guess, sexually cheating on Robyn, it wasn't explicitly said. But however, if 2 + 2 = 4, then I will let y'all do the rest. Now, with those rumors, these rumors were brought up on a public platform in terms of on the Real Housewives of Potomac, their platform, by Karen Hugler. Now, on the show, Robyn denied those claims, act like she ain't know those claims. Gizelle act like she ain't know those claims. She don't know nothing about nothing. So who, huh, what, who, where, how? I don't know what's going on. That's basically what was going on when those rumors came to the surface. Now, when Karen did bring those rumors up on the show, I want to say, do not quote me on it, but I do want to say Wendy and Candace, who are also cast members on the Real Housewives of Potomac, also said that they also heard those rumors as well. But we're going to get into those. So that lets you know these rumors have been circulating. But yeah, she denied those claims. Now I'm going to say this. Do I believe that Robyn did not know anything about those rumors? I do not believe those rumors. Well, I don't believe her. I'm put it that way. I believe that she and Gizelle knew about those rumors going out into these quote unquote Potomac streets. Reason being is because if you're hard for me to believe that if you're supposed to be in a relationship with somebody, you're supposed to be committed to somebody. If you're supposed to be in a union or supposed to be moving towards a union with somebody, and not only that, you're on a reality TV show that has millions of viewers. It's probably declined because of the colorism issue. Millions of viewers and people who watch the show. I think it's hard to believe, and we've seen this already, that Juan would be able to be with another woman, and people don't snap pictures, people don't put reports on it, people don't write stories on it, people don't, and like they said, and even like they said on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, where all of them receive tea on every single body. So if Robyn, if you're receiving tea on Karen about her alleged, well, I think it's kind of true, her alleged side dude, and you're getting that information, then I think it's hard to believe that you had no clue or had no idea about these other allegations that were actually out about your man that also y'all share a home together. I believe they share a home together. I forgot. But I don't believe that she had no clue, and she, in that moment when Karen brought it up, she was playing like a what, who, where, huh, who, huh. I was like, who? No, it's you. We're talking about you. You know what Karen's talking about. Now, here's the thing, too. Karen may have said the wrong place. Karen may have gotten certain details wrong. But the thing about it is that first things first, no one forgets. Like, my thing is this: if I have a partner, a significant other, spouse, or whatever, and they're out there, we're having some infidelity issues, and they're out there cheating and stuff, and then I'm going at it with someone, and they tell me that that's why your man or your woman was cheating all in Florida, or that's why your man and your woman was cheating all up in Jacksonville. But in all actuality, the details of the real issue that's going on in our household is that he wasn't cheating up in Jacksonville, or she wasn't cheating up in Jacksonville. They was actually cheating up in Miami. So that right there lets me know that it was being intentional of acting like you didn't know what was going on or anything of the sort. And the reason why we know that is because even if she didn't get it right about the location, you know what she's referring to. You knew it. And Gizelle knew it too. Now, the reason why I say that, now I'm gonna be honest with you. Another reason why I don't believe is like 50-50 of me believing that she didn't know or she found out when we found out. Reason being is because of this. Now, on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, she did say that in their, I want to say, was it prenup? I believe it was the prenup. Girl, these names be, these terms and stuff be slipping my mind. But I believe it was their prenup. Yeah, it was their prenup. There was an infidelity clause. And so, well, there wasn't an infidelity clause. And so with that clause not being in their prenup, Andy Cohen asked Robyn, SK, why don't you have an infidelity clause? And Robyn's response was that is because I might be setting myself up. Now, I know this is a reality TV show, and I understand that we don't know everybody personally, and I do understand that people have different faces that they show to the world, show to their houses, their families, show to their, the people, their co-workers, etc. I get that. But I don't see, and this is just me, this is opinion, this is theory, it could be false. I don't see Robyn Dixon having eyes for someone else. Because the thing about it is, like, she goes through so much with Juan. If that's the case, if she had eyes for somebody else, she wouldn't be dealing with half of the stuff that she actually goes through in terms of Juan, in terms of always having to be in the forefront defending their relationship. Meanwhile, he stays quiet, always having to defend their relationship in terms of when are you guys gonna get married, and meanwhile he's quiet. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like if she had eyes for someone else, and I could be wrong, but if she had eyes for someone else, she wouldn't be dealing with half of the stuff that she actually does. I'm just saying. So the whole infidelity clause, the reason why I think it's 50-50 is because of what I just said, talking about if I felt like if you knew, because I feel like if she knew beforehand, then she would have made sure to put that infidelity clause in that prenup. She would have made sure of that because that would have covered her behind. So when this situation skyrocketed, and if she wanted to leave or if she wanted to, bounce in, she had more of a more of an advantage from leaving the relationship or the marriage, if that's what she wanted to do. But on the flip side as well, another reason why I'm kind of on the flip side of that is because that I feel since Juan knew that he was out doing what he did or doing what he was doing, he knew that having that infidelity clause was kind of going to be like shooting himself in the foot. And so I feel like, and this is just a theory, I don't know. I feel like the answer that she gave to Andy on that reunion was just a cover-up, was just an answer just to give to kind of make it look pretty, as in, okay, we laughed, but that's not the honest to God truth. And so I felt like if that infidelity clause was not in that prenup, I feel like Juan was most definitely going to try to push off on them getting married, even, you know, with them even getting married. And so that goes to what I have to say here. And here's the thing too. Let me say this because I might forget this. My thing is this. And now keep in mind, I don't know anything about the law. I don't know anything about that. Is not my field. I know my place. Okay. Let me say this. I need to understand I believe, and I could be wrong. You can be Robyn. You can talk to, and this is the reason why I say I think it's BS, because you can talk to your lawyer that's helping you set up or establish this prenup. The purpose of your lawyer is to save you from any type of legal traps or legal bindings. I'm pretty sure you could have talked to your lawyer about an infidelity clause to where they can make loopholes for you to be able to escape if things were to happen of you committing adultery or infidelity. I could be wrong. And the reason why I'm saying that is because Ashley Darby and Michael Darby, they had a prenup. And y'all seen what happened with her. She literally left the house with only 2 kids in a house, aka a mortgage that she can't even afford. And essentially, Michael Darby is still her lifeline in terms of finances and resources. And to be completely honest, if Michael Darby, because I don't think it's actually going to happen, like for real. If Michael Darby finds out that she's dating another man and he's living in that home, I don't see him paying on that home. I don't see it. And just to think that how in their prenup agreement, how despite Michael Darby grabbing people, messing with producers, Juan, aka other cast members, inappropriately, and then allegedly sucking on BBC, allegedly. But yet he still had the ability to walk away from that situation with all of his money intact. And the only thing that essentially the only person that left with just about nothing was Ashley. That's why I think it's kind of hard. And I think that was kind of BS of an answer that she gave us. No shame. That's what I think. Just to be completely honest. Let me read some of y'all comments before I proceed. Let me see. Let me proceed. Yes, indeed. All right, let me see. I'm glad that all the factors were against him because there needs to be justice for the victim, period. Allegedly, a side chick DM'd the entire cast. See? All of Rhop's dirt she tried to sweep under the rug got exposed all at the same time. No time to recover from the first ball dropping at all. And I'm gonna get into that. Actually, should I say it now? Let me see. Hold on, let me go through my notes, make sure, because I don't want to forget this. Actually, I'm gonna say it now because I really didn't write it down, but I might say it again later on if I don't know. But let me say this. That's the reason why, because that goes to the whole prenup situation. The reason why Robyn, especially once Juan was down to get married, that's why she wanted to get married so fast on the show. Now, this is just a personal opinion. This is just a theory. This is me trying to make sense and trying to, line everything up. I could be wrong. I'm just a commentator. You listen to me anyway. On the show, I believe that the reason why Robyn wanted to make sure she got married on the show as a way for a storyline, because she knew in her real reality, in her life, in reality, real things were going on, like infidelity and also like a lawsuit, that those two real issues she did not want on the forefront. Now, I do understand when it comes to lawsuits and stuff, you can't talk about everything, so that probably was not going to be on the forefront. But that cheating and infidelity, it's a possibility it could have. Well, not a possibility, it most definitely would have been on the forefront. So that right there lets me know that I felt like her getting married, or wanted to push it on her to try to get married so quick, was a way to give Bravo what they needed, was a storyline, and try to kick up mess, try to kind of have smoke and mirrors, try to create all of this blur, just so you can't really get past it and then see the two situations for what they really are. And that's infidelity, and that's also for not reporting SA. And the reason why we know this is because Gizelle does the exact same thing. The green-eyed bandits are two peas in the pod, to be completely honest with you. Gizelle do that all the time. We literally just found, actually, I'm gonna hold up on it. Anyway. Now, it says Robyn said on Watch What Happens Live that the side chick contacted her directly. That's how she found out about the cheating. My thing is this, Robyn and Juan are comfortable with their open relationship. They just don't want it to be public. And that's the thing. If you're comfortable with your open relationship, but don't get me wrong, I understand both sides of that spectrum. On one end, it's like we're comfortable with what we got going on in an open relationship, but at the same time, the way society works, most people in society, they look down on anything that's other than monogamous, to be completely honest with you. Like, especially if you know that you're on the Real Housewives of Potomac, or you're in the Real Housewives of anything, that show typically, not saying all the time, it's not really a physically violent show, unless it's like Portia Williams on set, no shade, and some of them people from Real Housewives of New Jersey and Beverly Hills. But it's more of a verbal sparring that goes on. So if you take that into context of open relationship, and on top of that, I want to be married, but yet we're still having an open relationship, and I just know I get into it with these girls, they're gonna read the living hell out of me. That's just really what it is. No shade. Okay, let me see. Ooh, I'm pressing the wrong thing. Where was I? Now it says here, Juan knew he was going to be fired. Okay, believe that's why he went on and tied the knot. Yeah. Now let's get into Ashley. Hey China, how you doing? That's why Ashley had to break up with the dud. Okay, here's the dude. Yeah, but I totally forgot about him. That's how quick it went for me personally. But I'm gonna say this as well. In terms of Ashley, it's like you did all that, and I'm gonna make this is a quick little side note because I have to get this to her every single time. It's just the fact that you talk all that crap about Candace having generational wealth, and I do understand at some point you do have to take care of yourself and you have to be responsible, but you tried to shame that woman for coming from money and not from struggle. And let's see, I want you to understand and see what struggle got you. And I mean this with the utmost respect and disrespect as well. You literally sat up here and demonized a woman coming from wealth, generational wealth, and having a family as her backbone when she needs it. But then yet you coming from struggle, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's just the hypocrisy. You're coming from struggle and literally opened your legs wide open to a Caucasoid man that was nothing but a creep. He was nothing but a weirdo. and you had 2 beautiful children by him, and then you literally had access to his money, not through your accomplishments, not through your talents, but actually through your womb and your vagina. And then when the relationship and marriage is over, you walk away with nothing but a house that you cannot pay for, an allowance that he gives you, Real Housewives of Potomac, and to be completely honest, you might be on there for a few more seasons, only God knows. And then you're literally telling someone who comes from generational wealth, and this is what I mean when the pot calling the kettle black. And I don't mean that in the colorism state, because baby, we're gonna get into that colorism conversation every single time I talk about this. No shade, especially whenever we talk about Robyn and Gizelle, we're gonna get into it. But you literally said out your mouth that a person has to be responsible, a person has to take care of themselves, a person has to do. And I know from your mouth saying those things to Candace sounded cute, but after I just said all of that, what about you gave boss? What about you gave responsible? You weren't responsible enough to read the fine print of a prenup to make sure that if the marriage was to end, and especially if you made it clear, you and your family came from struggle, to make sure that if you left that marriage, that the funds will still continue to flow. You failed to do your part of being able to read the prenup and the fine print. You failed to read up on who has or whose name is on the deed, etc. But then yet you have the nerve to give this speech to Candace. Make it make sense, because it's not making sense to me at all. Okay, let me just read a few more. Ashley probably started out winning, but in the end, she wound up in the short end of the stick. Yep. Hey, China, how you doing? Period. Okay, so let me get down. Okay, let me see. Okay, I'm gonna read one more, then I'm gonna go down. I think Ashley purposely went out to find the creepiest old non-melanated man she could in order to come up. It just didn't work out how she intended, and that's the thing. You too busy over here trying to girl, I'm not gonna get into that. I just literally just told her about herself, so I'm gonna continue. But I low-key had forgot where I was going after I did all of that. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's talking about. Girl, I went in a whole rant talking about Michael Darby, about what he allegedly did. Because girl, he has sent out lawsuits. Girl, he has sent out lawsuits for Candace. Come on, next season for the storylines. Now, after Robyn denied all those claims, yada yada. Gizelle. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but just in case you don't, Gizelle and Robyn have a podcast that they do. I believe the name of the podcast was Reasonably Shady. And by the way, they're having legal, I don't know if it's legal issues or they having tension between Eminem, because his name is Slim Shady, the Real Shady, all the other stuff, But behind the fact, they were on their podcast, and Robyn lets it be known that she was going to let the truth out about Juan cheating behind a paywall. Well, essentially, she did it behind a paywall. I'm gonna be honest with you. In this situation, I do believe Robyn is on the chopping block. I do believe that either she's gonna be demoted, or they're really gonna get her up out of here. And the reason why I think that is because I keep saying this, it's the flashbacks. Every single time Robyn says something, it's the flashbacks. Every time she contradicts herself, it's the flashbacks. Every time she says something that's out of turn, it's the flashbacks, baby. Like I keep saying. Every single time a cast member on Bravo, Real Housewives of anything, every single time they've gotten fired, demoted, etc., they've always played the flashbacks. They did it to Nene Leakes on her last season. Whenever she'll say something or whatever, they'll bring up something that's hypocritical, they'll run the flashbacks back and completely see, and then we see that she did the opposite of what she said. They did the same thing to Sheree for being the bone carrier and not really reporting certain bones that Kim Zolciak had said on the show. They did the same thing when it came down to Kim Zolciak. She'll say one thing, but she really did something else. They did the same thing to Phaedra. When Phaedra was over there telling lies, she said one thing on the reunion, they run and played it back and contradict everything she said. They did the same thing to Portia. When Portia said, I don't remember saying that, then they go run the clip. They've done it to everybody. So every single time that has happened, for the majority of it, I think the only person that hasn't really gotten fired was Portia, and I could be wrong. They just about received some consequences. That's just no shade. So I do believe that she is on the chopping block. Now, in terms of, now here's the thing. No, I said all of that to say this. So when I go to this, it makes more sense for you guys. Gizelle says she did not bring up the situation about cheating with Juan because she forgot. That is BS. And once again, it goes back to playing with our intelligence, because at least if you're going to lie, make it make sense. Please make it make sense. And by the way, y'all make sure y'all follow Make It Make Sense, because he is an awesome content creator. He's awesome. But at least if you're going to lie, allow it to flow, allow it to at least have some type of validity of some sort. Just don't throw anything out there. And the thing is with her, she really said, I forgot. So you mean to tell me you can remember that someone allegedly made you feel uncomfortable, which, keep in mind, is not even the truth, made you feel uncomfortable for something that he did. You can remember that. You can remember things about Wendy's husband from previous seasons. You can remember things about Karen's taxes and, well, really her husband's taxes and things. You can remember all those things, but all of a sudden when it comes down to cheating, and keep in mind, I can see if this was like cheating from somebody that you didn't even know. This is cheating from your best friend's husband, fiance, but at the time, boyfriend. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. We have to really make things make sense, because people just really try to throw anything out to us, and a lot of times people take it, some people don't. But yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. She's definitely lying to us. Talking about I forgot. And then on top of that, Robyn and Gizelle both claim they both forgot. But let's also be clear. Robyn, when Karen brought the whole situation up about the cheating, you denied it and act like you didn't hear those rumors. And once again, I don't believe it, because even though he may have been quote unquote cheating up in Washington, D.C., that does not mean that you don't know what Karen was referring to. Just because Karen said Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that does not mean that she's not referring to the situation that happened up in Miami Beach. You know what she was referring to. Gizelle, you know what she was referring to as well. Y'all sat up there and tried to play dumb, because once again, whenever it comes time to put Robyn and Gizelle in the hot seat, they can't handle it, which is what we saw. Well, every reunion, we see it every reunion when it comes up to Gizelle. Gizelle literally looks like a deer in headlights. Huh? Who? I didn't say that. What did I say that warranted that response? And then when Candace be like the sneaky link and all this other thing, yeah, they start naming them. Oh yeah, I apologize for that. Girl, go play in traffic. And let's also remember this. Which one was it? Damn, I forgot. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Actually, I'm gonna move on. Let me say this. In terms of, that's what I want to get into. How Gizelle and Robyn, y'all forgot about the situation of Juan cheating or having this case, or because keep in mind the case been around. So you guys forgot about all of these things of the cheating and other situations that was going on in your personal lives, and which is crazy because you're reality TV stars. Your job is to share your personal life and put it on the forefront, especially with a show like with a network like Bravo that gives cast members $600,000 a year, $1 million a year. That gives them $800,000 a year. That you get big bang for sharing your life on on the forefront. And just to think that you guys did nothing but showcase coloristic behavior on the platform, and just to think that Gizelle and Robyn pushed so much, very much Gizelle pushed this narrative that Chris Bassett, aka Candace's husband, was a predator by pushing the narrative that Ashley's friend said, Ashley's friend story, and added, of course, added more details into the story. Then not only that, you said that he made you feel uncomfortable, which is okay, that's cool. He can make you feel uncomfortable, but you purposely left it very vague because you knew people's minds were going to run with that, and said that he had to apologize for what he did. And when you said what he did, it lets people who already have this vague statement understand that he actually did something. That's why he needs to apologize. And the reason why I'm getting on Robyn as well is because you sat back and very covertly, it was very subtle way of being able to back up Gizelle, in a sense of when they were on a reunion and they were talking about the situation of Chris and also talking about the situation with Gizelle, you literally said out your mouth, I don't want people, and I'm quoting Robyn now, the reunion girl, I want to snatch her to the phone. When I was literally watching, she literally said this, and I quote, I don't want people to miss this. I don't want people to miss that it's very inappropriate for a married man and a single woman to be in a room together and be in a room alone together. And last time, whenever Gizelle talked about those things or talked about her being uncomfortable around Chris and her saying those things, you didn't protest. Now, I'm not saying that Gizelle probably didn't feel comfortable, but you didn't hold her to task to specify what happened, what did he do, like explain it to me on camera, lets me know what's going on. And the reason why I'm holding you to task, Robyn, is because when Karen said what she said about Juan Dixon at the table, well, I want to say, I forgot what trip that was because they went to like 1,001 trips. Was it Mexico? It was, well, I forgot what it was. When Karen and Robyn were going back and forth, and Karen let it be known when Juan hugged her that her so tight her breast went back to her vertebrae that it made her feel uncomfortable. On the reunion, Robyn literally said in her mouth, she was like, okay, so Karen, what were you trying to insinuate in terms of Juan hugging you? Because allegations like that or stories like that can be very damaging. And then not only that, she quoted Chris. So which means that you were aware of the social dynamic of those allegations. Because when those allegations were possibly attached to Juan's name, you knew the severity. Girl, play with somebody else, okay? Now, I'm going to say this. Actually, I'm going to read some of y'all comments before I proceed. Now it says, no, she's definitely going to be demoted because Bravo has a track record of filming the housewives that are having legal issues impacting their family. Teresa, Erica, oh, yeah. Yep. Girl. Okay, so let me say this. I believe Robyn and Gizelle should both be demoted. I believe that. I believe they both should be demoted because they both of them hid their lives. Robyn, from the case that she had. Now, I do understand with cases, you can't talk about everything. So I do understand that does play a factor. But also the cheating rumors. Addressing the cheating rumors. Because also on Watch What Happens Live, Robyn literally said in her mouth, and once again, playing with people's intelligence is like, at least if you're going to lie, make it make sense. But she couldn't make it make sense. That's why she looked like a liar. She literally said, when Andy asked her, why didn't you just, say anything about the cheating rumors or anything like that, or anything about the cheating rumors when Karen brought it up? And then her response was, I was waiting for Karen to bring it up. And then it's like, if my memory serves me right, now keep in mind, I just paraphrased that, y'all. But if my memory served me right, didn't you just literally on the show sat there and denied it? Like, you denied that. I don't know those rumors. What are you talking about? I have no clue what you're talking about. I never heard those rumors before. You denied it. So you're lying and you're not making any sense about it. What's going on, Sunflower, Natural Sunflower? Like, it did not make sense to me. They both hit their both of their lives as a reality TV show personality. They when it came down to Gizelle, we just found out, and maybe it's just me, but also I've been watching other people who review the show who's been watching this since season 1, season 2, etc. So they're kind of on the same boat as me, but just found out that Gizelle has a sister, and she's been on the show for 7 seasons consistently. And just to think that you're always holding other people to task about being open and honest about their situations, but yet we barely know anything about you. And to be completely honest, none of the girls really come after Gizelle the way that they need to. And I think there's a reason why behind that. I think there's a reason why. I think the reason why is because even from when I look back and I look at the way that Gizelle may operate in the Bravo sector dynamic and whatever, it's that I feel Bravo protects her. Reason why I say that is because not only did we just find out that Gizelle has a sister, we literally found out at the very end of the season, Gizelle had some health issues to where essentially she had to have her womb taken out. And we were just finding out about that. And just to my knowledge, that was a situation that was going on for the longest. Like some years back. Like she had the situations that stemmed some years back. AKA different season. But we're just hearing about this stuff now. And in the midst of her speaking about the situation when it came to her having her womb removed, when Andy asked about, when Andy asked about her, the procedure, how is she doing, the children, her response to her boss, Andy, who's paying her I don't know how much her salary is, $600,000. I'm gonna go even lower just to make sure I get it correct. $200,000. I'm pretty sure she get paid more than this. $200,000 plus to be on the show. She responded to his question with, "We'll talk about it later." And Andy responded with it, "No, we're going to talk about it now." And so that right there screamed to me that she's being protected. And the reason why I know that is because who feels that comfortable letting their boss know that, no, we're going to talk about it later? Especially when you're on top of on a reality TV show. And then not only that, you're filming. Now, it's one thing to possibly do it behind the scenes, but you're filming. So she has that comfortability level because in some way or some sort, people don't really go after Gizelle like that. I'm going to say to the degree of what Monique did. And to be completely honest, if I was Candace, baby, now to my to be completely honest, if I was Candace, and I really wanted to go after some people, baby, I would have had, because to be completely honest, all I gotta do is just look up some dirt on them. If there's any cheating rumors, if there's any type of infidelity issues, the same way when it came down to Juan and Robyn, I would have had the Juan side piece sitting down with me, and we would have all had a conversation. I would have pulled a Kenya Moore. When it came down to that cookie lady. Since you want to play with my family, Robyn and Gizelle, I got something for you. Since you want to play with my family, Gizelle, I'm going to bring this binder full of receipts to check you. So yes, they both hit both of their families. And plus on the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, they was still trying to be consistent in lying and trying to hide it. They both pushed harmful allegations when it came down to Chris, which was completely BS, which I honestly feel like they should be demoted. And this is how I know that the colorism does play a part, is because if I see Gizelle and if I see Robyn on the show, we're gonna have some issues. And for me, it's gonna prove the colorism. Reason being is because you have Robyn, someone that wasn't open and honest about their life. But yet I also know another woman that wasn't open and honest about her life, and she was fired from the show for one season, and she was demoted when she came back, but yet she still had to be a full-time housewife. That was Miss Kenya Moore. That was Miss Kenya Moore. When initially she couldn't or really didn't want to talk about Mark, and so she got punished for it. But let's not forget, you also had Miss Gizelle, who pushed harmful narratives and also was intentional, pushing harmful narratives of SA. But I also know another woman that did the exact same thing, and she's no longer on the show. Now she's on a different franchise now, like a different show on Bravo. That was Miss Phaedra Parks. Phaedra is no longer, and keep my y'all to know I don't have a mess with Phaedra like that. But I'm trying to see what was the difference in what Gizelle did and what Phaedra did. They essentially did the same thing. Or I could be making a false equivalency, but y'all let me know. I don't know. But that's really all I have to say, to be completely honest. In terms of this situation, in terms of Robyn and her line is, and also in terms of Gizelle and her line behind. I'm trying to, y'all, I'm over here trying to substitute these cuss words. But that is really it. If you guys really enjoyed the show, please let me know. If you guys want to donate, be able to show brother some love, logicians, please hit me up on Cash App, Zelle, or PayPal. The Cash App tag is $at. Oh, girl, I keep saying at. $recklesslogicc, a capital R and a capital L. Logic is spelled with 2 C's. Now, you guys let me know what you guys think in the comment section, because I know in the chat and stuff we like to interact, but a lot of times too, I don't always get an opportunity to see every comment in the chat. So please make sure once I end this live and things, you guys can put your comments, your opinions down in the chat. In the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. That is it for my commentary video for today, guys. Please make sure you guys pop that like button, hit the subscribe button, and please smack that notification bell so do not miss any of my posts from me. Till next time, guys, I will see you guys later. Deuces.